As some of those storms were coming across the state yesterday and developing early in the evening hours, initially a hail and isolated tornado threat, but then overnight that it transitioned into more of a damaging wind threat. As you can see, a lot of those reports coming for southeast Nebraska as storms eventually bowed out and really tapped into a unstable environment across southeast Nebraska that was largely untapped through much of the evening hours, as we saw storms kind of form in and around Omaha, Papillion, Bellevue, and then some more storms that were popping up across northern Nebraska. But then they all kind of congealed and came together in a cluster and bowed out across southeast Nebraska with some impressive wind gusts overnight. So in talking about that, there were about 152 reports across Nebraska nearby. Most of these you see are hail reports with a few reports of tornadoes and some thunderstorm wind gusts and damage as well. But really, Omaha not catching a break for much of the evening hours. I think they saw about 3 to 4 different severe warned storms that produce about 67 different hail reports with hailstones as large as 3.5 inches in diameter, which is about the size of a teacup, if not a little bit larger, between that and a softball late last night. Now, a 90-mile-per-hour wind gust, you heard us talk about Epley. Yeah, a 90-mile-per-hour wind gust was reported at the airport, kind of doing some damage and closing them down for a time too. That's where winds peaked through much of the state. That was the highest wind gusts noted overnight. Now, there were several reports of tornadoes as well, a few in northeast Nebraska near Meadow Grove, Newman Grove, and Cornlia, as well as a few from, I believe, the same tornado that dropped near Whitman. So in talking about that, we were very gracious enough to receive a picture from Deanna Chris. Thank you to her. I had to apologize to her because I was looking up her name and from the overnight and all the resources I've been going through this morning. Didn't get her name right initially in the 5 o'clock, but Deanna Chris, really thank you for sending in this photo of that Whitman tornado that touched down in portions of the Sandhills last night. Now clearing out to start out Wednesday morning. This is what you want to see as you're getting ready to go this day. Barry log camera point towards the eastern sky. Beautiful look at the sun coming up with some clouds that are generally going to be fleeting throughout much of this morning. Now, the other change to this morning, besides the storms clearing, is the drier and cooler air making its way through southeast Nebraska. A lot of us running about 5 to 15 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. That's some welcome relief. Again, drier air moving in too, so more comfortable feeling to the start of the day today and throughout much of the afternoon. Temperature starting out in the 60s for just about everyone. So we've slipped down into the upper 60s here in Lincoln. Expected to top out in the middle and upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. Fairly seasonable for this time of the year, and faring pretty well for a late June day with those northeast winds around 10 to 20, just providing a fairly comfortable breeze later on today. Winds lately have been less than 10 miles per hour, and that's a far cry from some of the wind gusts that were reported down in Beatrice and Fairbury, pushing 60 and over 70 miles an hour even once they push past Lincoln. So yeah, we are glad to see those storms depart to the south and east, as with some of the cloud cover still producing some severe thunderstorm warnings out in northeast portions of Oklahoma for 60 and 70 mile per hour wind gusts, but a lot of rain falling through Missouri as that storm cluster scales Missouri from north to south. You'll see we're quiet back here at home and expected to stay that way through much of the day today. Maybe a few low-level clouds, maybe some fog in southwest Nebraska. If they see that, it should burn off pretty quickly through the first few hours of today. Largely sunny skies until later on this evening. We'll see another wave bring some scattered storms through portions of the Panhandle, a few of which could be strong to severe. That should weaken as they move into southwest Nebraska through the overnight hours, and that's why you see that slight level 2 out of 5 risk transition to a marginal risk as those storms move a little bit further east tonight. Now later on this week, we are expected to see our coolest temperatures on Thursday. Clouds are going to build back in, fairly overcast day with some scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout. I think the better chance for severe weather here at home will be pushing towards Thursday night and into the overnight hours, but we'll only top out at 82 degrees tomorrow. Storms will be possible on Friday too, especially in the morning, before another round will develop mainly south and east of our area for the evening hours. And then look at this coming weekend. This will be certainly one of those weekends that we don't see all that often here in June. Of course, the College World Series over now, but a great weekend kind of shaping up for outdoor activities, maybe some camping. I know people getting ready for the 4th too. 4th looks good for now. We'll keep an eye on that as well.
Yeah, a lot of people traveling this weekend as well too. So great look for that as well.
For sure.
All right, thank you very much, Jessica.